Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Director of Education Nigel McCarthy for the Lloydminster Catholic School Division. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, thank you very much for hosting us for Christmas.
Oh, yes, of course, no problem. Really happy to be able to have you on here and being able to do kind of this year-end interview as well for 2022. So starting off, of course, for LCSD, what are some of the highlights you'd like to showcase?
Well, I think the biggest highlight for us has been a return to a very normal education where our halls are filled with students and our athletics programs are firing on all cylinders, and where we're able to do art shows and able to share the accomplishments of our kids with families and with our community and with parents.
Yeah, that's really good. And for like the opposite of that, I guess, obstacles, what would you say that kind of happened through 2022 that you're proud to see that LCSD has overcome? And I guess, also if you want to talk about with students and staff and teachers adjusting to some of the changes since the pandemic.
Well, I think the biggest change that we have ahead of us is shortly after Christmas we'll be moving into a new building at Holy Rosary.
Yes,
and
very nice.
Though it hasn't been an obstacle, it's certainly been a huge scope of work, and it goes back to what grade 5 students told us 2 and 3 years ago, and the reality that's coming to pass for those kids as we consulted with our teachers and with our kids and came up with, I think, a really imaginative new set of spaces that are going to fire the imaginations of kids. But getting that done on time and making sure that we're able to move in second semester has certainly been something we're very proud of.
Yeah, no, that is really impressive when it comes to Holy Rosary and that all that and expansion. It's been a crazy process, but it's been really a good obstacle to kind of get over with all the work into it and everything. So that's going to be really exciting for the students. Now, when it comes to student involvement in the community, I know we've done a couple stories when it comes to, especially with the youth council and whatnot. Would you like to kind of give some examples of what you're proud to see for 2022?
Well, I think we were really honored with Minister Duncan choosing Favour to be one of the representatives provincially to really speak to what is the future of education. Mm-hmm. And our Board of Trustees has worked really hard over the last 2 or 3 years to contribute to what is the next step for education in our province. But to be able to have those voices, not just from a Board of Trustees level or even from teachers providing feedback, but also from individual students who get to go down to Regina and feel like they're part of that voice, I think will benefit us all for the next decade. So it is very special.
Yeah, and for 2023, the big question, is there kind of already an agenda plan for that you kind of are excited for a look ahead? That's what's to come.
Well, I think looking ahead, we're really hopeful that 2023 continues on being a really positive year for students. Opening Holy Rosary will be a big event for us in 2023. But before we get there, we're really just excited with being able to do things like live stream all of our concerts out to the community and the new sorts of programs that the Synergy Studio and all of the work of our elementary school teachers and EAs and communications people to really present the accomplishments of children to our whole community and beyond. Those are the pieces that we've learned over the last 2 or 3 years that make us all better as an education system and as a place that engages kids and their families.
And especially, like you were saying, with learning that technology and kind of getting used to using that over the past few years, that's a kind of a positive aspect to know that you're able to kind of continue using that for certain things, like you were saying, to be able to share it with more people in their homes.
Well, really, LCSD is about focusing on the positive, and we build by focusing on accomplishments and on the good things, and I think that's really come to fruition over the last 5 or 6 months, and certainly gives us great hope for the future.
Now, would you like to end off with kind of giving a last message out there for how you kind of thought 2022 went for LCSD and what you're proud to see? A last message to kind of share to others out there.
Well, I think that 2022 was a year that showed us the results of hard work and dedication and being there for our children. in an even more vigorous way than we ever have before. But seeing the accomplishments of our kids really sets us up for a wonderful holiday ahead and a very Merry Christmas for our families and our kids.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Nigel. It was really nice to be able to speak with you on the 2022 year for LCSD.
Well, it's great to be here again, and thank you very much to you, and we wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas too.
Thank you kindly.